You can be proud of your life for years, and then in 1 minute, it is swallowed by someone else's. You see a better apartment, a better job, a better vacation. Suddenly, nothing in your life has actually disappeared, and nothing has become worse, but it no longer feels like enough. That is the power of comparison. It takes a perfectly good life and makes it feel incredibly small. It takes gratitude and turns it into pressure, turning simple admiration into deep insecurity. Humans have always done this. We don't compare because we have a character flaw. We do it because originally it was a vital evolutionary tool for survival. Look at this early historical setting. For humans living in small groups, observing who was stronger, safer, or more respected had a clear purpose. It helped people learn necessary social rules and quickly identify threats in their environment. For the vast majority of human history, checking where you stood in the group was a purely informational exercise meant to keep you safe. It was never meant to be a daily attack on your identity. But modern technology erased the physical boundaries of the village. Comparison is no longer an occasional event that happens when you walk through town. It is environmental. It lives in your feed. The scale of this change is completely unnatural. Today, before you even finish breakfast, you can compare your daily routine to professional athletes, your home to luxury influencers, and your income to millions of strangers. Psychologists call this upward comparison, the specific, dangerous habit of measuring yourself entirely against people you perceive as being significantly better off. This visualization shows how unfair that measurement is. Your brain takes your full, messy, unedited reality, the bad mornings, the bills, the doubts, and weighs it against a heavily curated, hyper-edited fraction of someone else's life. The tragedy is that the brain does not automatically filter this mismatch. It simply sees someone else's visible success and internalizes it as concrete evidence of personal failure. When the mind gathers this flawed data, it processes it violently. It takes another person's progress and turns it into a definitive verdict on its own worth. They are ahead, so I must be behind. This graphic shows how the brain violently flattens complex, multidimensional human lives into simple, cruel binary rankings, winning or losing, ahead or behind. This emotional mechanic runs on a single dangerous word, should. It creates an invisible, standardized timeline telling you exactly what you should have achieved by a specific age. The logical flaw here is that society treats life like a straight race. It completely ignores that no two people share the same starting line. We do not have the same health, the same money, the same resources, or the same hidden burdens. When you judge a complex life by a simple finish line, you lose all context. Soon, every ordinary day begins to feel like proof that you just aren't trying hard enough. The comparison scoreboard is an unwinnable game because it can never actually be beaten. You reach one goal and the finish line simply moves. You improve one area and immediately find a new category where you feel inadequate. Digital platforms exploit this psychology. They reward visible metrics like views and followers, pushing the threshold for success higher the exact moment you reach it. By doing this, platforms create the illusion that human worth can be accurately quantified and measured by a crowd. But visibility is not value. Being watched by thousands of people bears little resemblance to the experience of being known. Being admired online does not provide the same psychological safety as being secure in your life. Chasing these false metrics leaves us perpetually exhausted. We spend all of our time endlessly grading our lives instead of actually living them. Comparison often grows most powerful when your own direction is unclear. When you don't know what you actually want, other people's lives become much louder. In those moments of uncertainty, the visible success of others becomes a highly tempting map to borrow. Their timeline becomes your deadline. But a borrowed map is dangerous. A path can look universally impressive to the outside world and still leave you feeling entirely empty on the inside. The true opposite of comparison is not pretending that nobody is better than you. There will always be someone with more money or attention. The opposite of comparison is having a clear direction for your own life. When you clearly define what you value, other people's lives stop being a threat. Their progress becomes something you can look at and admire without feeling attacked. Getting there requires doing the hard, quiet work of defining what success means to you without relying on a crowd's applause as your compass. You have to shift the questions you ask yourself. Instead of asking, "Am I behind?" ask, "Behind whose timeline?" Instead of asking why they have more, ask, "What is enough for me?" Building an internal standard means accepting that your progress does not have to be visible to others to be real. Witnessing someone else shine does not erase your own value. True peace and real confidence begin the exact moment you stop asking a crowd to measure a life that only you can live.